Welcome to Take a Break, the show where we hit pause on all the crazy things that are going on in the world and just focus on the cool and fun stuff. I'm your host, Vinayak Nair, and that, of course, is Murphy, the penguin. He's a little camera shy, but I'm feeling great today, and I hope you are too. So today's top story is about a city that has officially gone green. I'm not just talking about some little hamlet in the countryside, I'm talking about Sydney in Australia, a city with a population of more than 5 million. The city's mayor, Clover Moore, struck a deal with a renewable energy company, Flow Power, for a 10-year contract to keep all the city's operations running on solar and wind farms in exchange for $60 million. Now, Moore claims that this will allow for a decrease in 20,000 tons of CO2 and an estimated $500,000 every year. So this is in part of the United Nations Framework Convention for Climate Change. And I get that that's a mouthful. Or UNFCCC's initiative to tackle climate change through lobbying for carbon neutrality, or basically where the CO2 consumption offsets the CO2 production. And by the way, if I haven't made it pretty obvious yet, climate change is real. I just want to get that out there. So why is this so important other than the obvious?
Me don't like climate change bad.
Well, according to C40, a collective of 96 cities that advocates for more sustainable policymaking, about 70% of the world's carbon emissions are actually made by cities, and as a majority of cities can be found on coastlines, which we know are rising because of that whole climate change thing, they're probably the first to go. There's a great New York Times article that I read, link in the description below, that has some neat pictures for projections for 2050, and apparently there's going to be an estimated 150 million people displaced, and those people are living on land that by 2050 will be donezo. Anyway, let's just give a big round of applause to Sydney for going green. And now I'd like to turn it over to the weather with our weatherman, Rob Cobb. Rob? Thanks, Vinayak. You might have noticed that I'm actually sitting on a bike right now and wearing my helmet. I did in fact notice that. The reason why is because right now it's the perfect weather to go out and bike. The cool breeze and the right temperature just make for an enjoyable experience. So make sure you get up, get outside, and start biking. Speaking of biking, I actually ordered some new tires recently, but when they came, they were missing, some stuff in the middle. So when I let them know about the manufacturing defect, you know who they passed me to? Their spokesperson. Okay. I mean, don't you have to, report on the weather? Because if this was, a tire, then there wouldn't be, anything in the middle. Yeah, no, I understand. Can we please move on? And those are called spokes, like spokesperson, right? So, that's the joke. Yeah, maybe, a temporary replacement or something like that. Thank you, Rob, for that segment. Or commentary, or comedy. You know what, Rob? I really don't know what you do. Moving on, our next story is about the Sisterhood of Traveling Wine.
To become a sister, you must first prove yourself worthy. Take a sip from this chalice, if you so dare.
No, that isn't what the Sisterhood is about at all. They also go by wine fairies, which I personally think is a lot cuter, because what they do is they anonymously leave bottles of wine on doorsteps, just for the purpose of spreading joy. They don't just leave wine, some of them also leave non-alcoholic consumables too. So it's basically like Ding Dong Ditch, except it's not scummy and it's actually nice. So these wine fairies communicate on Facebook in groups, and apparently there's one with about 80,000 members. Cara Brindell, the founder of the Sisterhood, stated that it's all about bringing others happiness and making new relationships. The name of this group itself emulates this idea, as it's named after a drama romance movie called The Sisterhood of Traveling Pants, where 4 women's bonds with each other are strengthened through a shared love for the pants. Similar to that movie, a group, the Sisterhood, aims to strengthen the bonds in our communities through a shared love for wine. And that, to me, is truly epic. And this is just, I think, one of the many ways that people are leveraging social media to strengthen their communities and do good. Another example is with the birthday car parades, which you might have seen. This is where people drive around to houses of kids who didn't have proper birthday parties and just make a ton of noise. And I've been part of some of these, and it's just honestly been so much fun. So if you're bored at home, this is just a great way to get involved. So now I'd like to turn it over to our diction correspondent, J.K. Shakespeare, who's going to expand our vocabularies with the words of the week.
If you want to sound smart, but you just don't know how, simply study these words and you'll be taken a bow. At every interview you'll be sounding chic due to these words of the week. Stentorian, very loud or booming. Aphelion, the point in orbit farthest from the sun. Deracinate, to uproot a tree. Legerdemain, a skillful display considered as magical. Sound, in good condition. Bromide, a cliche that doesn't really help. Histrionic, overly dramatic or theatrical. Skit time! Previously on Words of the Week. FBI agents Robinson and Russo plot to overthrow a money laundering kingpin, Large Pete, but they stop when informed by an undercover agent posing as a waiter that foul play may be afoot. Large Pete's accountant, Ernie Muntz, has just gone missing. What will our heroes do? Keep watching to find out.
You guys can hear me, right?
Are you kidding me? Of course we can hear you. Your voice sounds stentorian. Tone it down a little bit.
But Ernie's probably dead, or at least halfway across the country. How are we gonna get him? Why am I even here?
Just keep your eyes peeled at the party. Make sure you search every inch of this house, and use your disguises if you have to. But if you have to change appearance, please don't be histrionic.
I'm gonna go check the bottom floors first. If there's anyone hiding, it's probably down there. Yeah, but I don't think I'll be able to get in. I do need a different disguise. Alright, am I still coming through? Is the audio sound?
I hear you. Make it quick.
There's a goon guarding the basement door. If he finds me, he's gonna kill me. What am I gonna do?
Alright, you sound too foreign. You need to change your accent a little bit, and make sure to repeat exactly what I say. Fake it till you make it, right?
The bromide doesn't really help here, but okay, I got it. Hello sir, I'd like to inspect some of the plumbing. Lisa sent me in to check it out.
You got a name?
My name is Tony Vitelli with Drain Solutions. This is my identification.
Doesn't work.
Alright, now say this.
Alright, now say this. Sorry, nothing.
No, you idiot. You almost blew our cover. Okay, repeat this. Loda la famiglia
di Pietro, e viviamo per servire la loro eredità.
Use key card and
I didn't know we had a new keycard system.
What key card? Okay, fine. Sit tight. I'll hack into the door, but you need to stall.
You know, I always wanted to be guard.
A few moments later.
Almost done, and done!
Anthony Vitelli approved.
Great use of legerdemain.
What? What's going on here? Bomb shelter? Ernie, what happened?
I've been trapped here for 2 days. Please, I haven't eaten food or water. I have a family. Please don't hurt me.
Dominique, how are you? Enjoying yourself? How's the party going?
I'm just glad that the basement's secure. So, I actually let a man through. His name was Tony Vitelli. He was working with the plumbing and stuff.
Tony? Oh, Tony. Oh, yeah. Tony and me go way back. Yeah. To Tony. Let's toast to Tony. Oh, except for one small little thing. I don't know who he is. Who's in my basement, huh? it all started with this, the hidden camera. I found a hidden camera. Pete's been watching over me. But I you know, like, what does it go too far, right? Pete's looking over my wife, my kids, like, well, what if something would have happened to them? You know, I can't live this kind of life anymore. I had to blackmail him. I had his financial documents, all of that. But then, you know what he did? He put me in here. I'll give you my documents. Please, all I want you to do, keep my family safe, and you know, like, make sure Pete goes to hell. Alright, I've left the documents. It's under a tree. It's under the tree. It's the tree in my backyard. You might have to deracinaate it, or dig it up or something like that. Just get out of here, please. If Pete finds you, he'll. If Large Pete catches you, he'll what? Launch you into Aphelion. You talked about loyalty, huh? Those federal agents want what they can't have. Well, then what are you? FBI? Homeland? You know what? It doesn't even matter. I don't need to launch you into space. I could kill you right here, during my gala. Nobody'd ever know.
Stay tuned next week to see what happens next.
Thank you, JK, for teaching me those words, which I highly doubt I will ever use. So let's move on to our final story of the day, which is one of innovation. I want you to look outside of your nearest window. Is the air polluted? Well, chances are that 9 in 10 of you said yes, as 91% of the world's population is living in an area that exceeds the World Health Organization's air quality guidelines. Big whoop, what's the problem with a little smoke? The problem is that an estimated 4.2 million deaths are linked to stroke, heart disease, and other respiratory illnesses caused by exposure to air pollution. India is such a place where the problem of air pollution constantly hangs over them. Literally. But it's also facing another problem: the massive demand for building materials that comes with a growing population. Thankfully, Carbon Craft Design is here to mitigate both of those challenges through using what its founder, Tejas Sidnal, describes as an architectural intervention. So basically, the company aims to upcycle carbon dioxide emissions into finished tiles that can be used for architectural projects. The company created its first tile from pollution in 2019 and looks to make entire buildings of these tiles in the future. So this initiative just seems like a great example of how creativity can lead to sustainable solutions that can solve the world's biggest problems. And now I'd like to transition to a segment called 90 Seconds of Random, hosted by my very own brother, Vibe of Nair.
Thanks, Vinayak. Welcome to 90 Seconds of Random. I'm your host, Vibe of Nair. This week I watched the movie Cars. As a movie that came out in 2006, the basic plot is that there's a race car called Lightning McQueen, and he ties with 2 other racers to win a big race called the Piston Cup. There's a rematch and he has to get to it, but his semi-truck pulls him. But when they're trying to get there, he's kind of sort of falls out. Then he winds up in a town called Radiator Springs. He loses control. Then in the morning, he's in jail. He's then arrested for speeding and has to pave roads for the community. He then makes a friend with the local cars like Maida Tow Truck and Sally Sedan. His friends try to help him win the race. Does he win the rematch? Watch the movie to find out. Anyways, after watching the movie, I would give it a 4.5 stars out of 5. The animation is exciting to watch, but some of the other racers don't look like they're trying very hard. And ka-chow!
Thank you for that great recommendation, Vibe. And now I have something that I'd like to recommend to you. Wells Fargo recently donated all of its earnings from the Payroll Protection Program, $400 million to be precise, to help these small businesses that have been hit hard by the pandemic. Wow, that's just awesome. But I realize that some of you might be thinking, well, Vinayak, I'm not the 3rd largest bank in the world. How can I help? Well, you can still help by ordering meals from your small local restaurants at a time when cases are rising and these restaurants are experiencing less traffic. I'd personally like to shout out 3 small cafes/restaurants that I just love. in the central New Jersey area. And I just want to make this clear, these are not paid promotions. So first off, Grover's Mill Coffee is a family-owned coffee shop located near Grover's Mill, near Princeton, New Jersey. Go there for freshly roasted, environmentally conscious beverages at an affordable price. Serving out-of-this-world coffee since 2005. They are open Tuesdays to Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and the link to their website is in the description below. Sawyer Ramen Sushi Burrito is a restaurant located in Lawrence Township, New Jersey. Go there for very, very tasty ramen bowls and customizable sushi burritos, which are fabulous. They are open Wednesdays to Mondays, 11:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. The link to their website is also located in the description below.
Finally, Saigon Cafe is a family-owned and operated restaurant in Jersey City, and go there for authentic Vietnamese cuisines. I'd highly recommend that you check out their tapioca pudding and their seafood dishes. I remember going there as a kid and I loved it. It's open Tuesdays through Sundays from 12 to 3 and 5 to 9.
And the link to their website, as well as any links to any of the sites or resources that I used to make this video, are located in the description below. And so, yeah, if you're watching at home and live near Princeton, please check those out. Murphy, you've been a little bit quiet. Do you have any comments or any concerns, thoughts you want to share with the audience? Get it off your chest.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
So Murphy's a penguin of a few words, and he's a little hesitant to voice his own opinions, but if you have any thoughts, please make sure to leave them in the comments down below. If you're still here, I want to thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more of this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and most importantly, stay safe, relaxed, and awesome. And peace.